Right, folks, welcome back to the Boys in Green YouTube channel for the new season. It's the first podcast of the new season. The Euros is now finished, so it's back to club football. Before we start, I'd like to just send my congratulations to Spain for, yeah, again, fucking England over. But anyway, I'm joined by Nathan and Alistair for the first podcast this season. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm good after yesterday, but it was good.
I know so, man.
Alistair?
Good, thanks.
Aye. Obviously it's the first podcast of the season. To be honest, we didn't really do it during the Euros because, frankly, there was nothing to talk about as usual with Celtic. Um, Nathan, obviously the first kind of few weeks of the window, people are starting to panic about like stuff. What have you made of the window? Obviously, it seems to have picked up over these last few days, but that first few weeks, what did you make it?
Well, I mean, I was consistent in what I was saying to you. I was like, because you were getting pretty aggy pretty fast. And I was saying, no, give them time, give them time. But as the times went on, right, and I know we're linked to players now that we'll discuss in this. But look, I just don't feel like they're going to improve the squad. Like buying two loan players that we had last season and two goalies, like we're no improving if that makes sense. We're not going to get a left back, are we? We're not going to fill these positions. Callum McGregor can't play every game. I think people are overlooking that. So I'm not impressed at all.
Obviously, we're going to positions and later on because we'll probably talk for a bit, obviously, but we'll go into positions later on and stuff. Alistair, what have you kind of made it?
I've been more in your camp. I've been getting more and more irate by the day, to be honest with you. Just without radio silence, it's been driving me out the pole, to be honest with you. But things seem to be moving and getting getting done now. And I suppose you'd rather wait till the deals are done and then talk about them than have your hopes up and then dash to the last minute. But I'll say this to you. I doubt Peter Lawwell's putting the toaster.
Oof, Peter Lowell's mentioned 4 minutes into the new season. That must be a record, man. We've lasted 4 minutes. Fantastic.
I wonder if he's back for his break this week that he said he was
His
taking.
break. His big break that he was going. No, but especially this week, I don't know if he's put his hand in the toaster or something. But as you said, Nathan, to be honest, I think all three are kind of on the same kind of page in different kind of senses. Nathan, you don't obviously think about the positions getting covered. I think Alistair's kind of just disgruntled about the rate, like the silence that accompanies Celtic when they don't seem to do anything. Obviously there's major gaps in that team, and it's no, it's obvious what the gaps are. I think everybody will probably universally come together and know what the gaps are. Nathan, obviously, you've seen the goalkeeper. Obviously, that's a big because obviously Joe Hart retired February. I think he announced his retirement.
February the 22nd.
Aye, and obviously, I don't know Nathan what your opinions on Scott Bain is. I can take a wild guess, but we need to get a goalkeeper in as soon as possible, and it looks obviously we might have got one.
If you're asking for my opinions on Scott Bain, his missus is amazing. We can't argue that for one. I mean, Casper Schmeichel. I mean, like, I think that's a superb bit of business, right? Yeah, he's 39, right, but had a really good Euros. He's a leader. He's worked under Rodgers. He understands the system. I think it's a fucking superb sign, to be honest.
Aye, well, you've used your fuckings for this podcast in the space of 5 minutes. I think in terms of the player, I think it's a good signing. I've got problems with other stuff which we'll get on to. Alistair, what do you make of the thing about Casper Schmeichel?
He's, well, I'm not going to lie. I watched a lot of the Denmark games, and especially the one against England, and my attitude was watching that game was we could do worse watching it. But let's be honest, if we sign a 25-year-old goalkeeper as first choice and he has 2 good seasons, he's going to get bought anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem. you've got where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But he's no, he's a good keeper.
I think at first when I seen the signing, you're looking at the age and thinking 37-year-old, but the more I kind of thought about it, I was like, right, if we went and go at that, is it Janssen or Jensen, for Sparta Prague? See, he came here in 2 seasons. We're only going to get probably 2 good seasons out of him. But obviously, Casper Schmeichel, Nathan, he's been well known for the time at Leicester. Obviously, when the Premier League, he's made 470 appearances for Leicester. And obviously, umpteen Denmark caps, like 105 Denmark caps. You talk a lot about
Yeah.
the experience. I think it's important that we got an experienced person in there because obviously Joe Hart on and off the pitch, I think, was a big worry how we were going to replace that.
Me and my dad always have said this, right? It's been like we know that Celtic can't go out and buy fucking amazing players, right? But we need more international experienced players in our team. You know, you look at the team, not as many of them as like international experience. And I know you could say it doesn't count for much, but Kasper Schmeichel's like the captain of his country at major tournaments, like played in the biggest games, like, and also it's only a year contract with an option to extend. So I think that Celtic are going to, because obviously that guy, the goalie that we were going to sign, you know, he just joined, so we would be breaking him out his contract. So wait a year, you know, see how Casper goes. We might extend or might look for a younger keeper. So I think it's a perfect bit of business.
I, I think that's I think that's what's happened. I think Jensen, whatever his name is, has been the number one target, and it's just the deals became too complicated to go over the line, Alistair. And I think that's what they want to maybe do with Michael. Obviously, going to the second goalkeeper we've been linked to just kind of the last day really been linked to him. But do you think that's what the thinking is behind Michael? Is get him for 2 years and hope that there's another goalkeeper there who we can bring in the next 2 year?
Well, hopefully we'll go into the other guy, but hopefully the other guy can learn this Michael and then step into his shoes. Otherwise, what's the point in buying him?
Aye. Nathan, I want to obviously caveat it a bit because people are like, and I've heard it. I don't know what your opinion is on this. I've heard the phrase being put a lot as in 2 seasons or 1 or 2 seasons time, we're just going to be in the same situation again. What do you think about that?
Listen, a goalkeeper, you can't pass up on a goalkeeper like Kasper Schmeichel when it's available on a free for one. Like, we're no, I know his wages will be high, right? We're not paying anything basically for him. We've got the Champions League money. Celtic need to start going for these players that are more experienced in big games. Like, look at the influence that Joe Hart had on the changing room to the young players. Kasper Schmeichel will have exactly the same. So, I mean, it turns to I think the fans are getting a bit too aggy about it in terms of, his age. Like, we need to remember that goalkeepers can go for a long time.
To be honest, I think with the fans, I don't think they've got a problem with the player. Well, personally, I've not got an issue with the player. I've just got an issue, and I'm going to be on here and be negative, because it's first. You better try and be positive as you can, but Nathan, for me, like whoever wants to take this can take it, obviously, but I just think that it's still. It looks a bit embarrassing on a recruitment because I think what's happened is Brendan's went like that. I honestly think, right, and this could be completely wild, right, but I honestly think they've gave him a list of goalkeepers, and Brendan's turned around and got nah. So he's like, I know, he's phoned somebody at his phone book, says I want
Mm.
this guy. Now, if you add that together with the recruitment failures of last season, the players we signed like Bernaby the season before, even players like Abelgard, even before it goes for a while, and I completely understand. Not every football player that a club signs is going to be superb. It doesn't matter if it's Celtic, it doesn't matter if it's Man City, it doesn't matter anybody. But it just doesn't add to the it just doesn't make our recruitment team look honest. Shall I say lack of recruitment team look any better? Now, Casper Schmeichel, a fantastic player, and I think, and that's what, for me, I think that's what's happened. I genuinely think Rodgers went, no, I'm getting my own guy in here because what you are giving me is dross.
I mean, that's kind of what a manager needs to do as well, no?
I know, I
Like, yeah,
understand.
you join the recruitment team, but it's, if that is the case, then it's actually good that Rodgers has put his foot down for once,
No, I think that's a
and
good thing.
actually went normal having it. So, you know, as I said, see if Rodgers comes out right in a press conference, like saying, "Oh, he's happy with the way things are going," then you know what? At the end of the day, if he's coming out saying he's happy, whatever happens is on the manager
No,
after that.
definitely. I've always said that. I've said that with any manager that comes in the club. I think, if they've made that signing and they're happy with those signings, that's fine by me. Alistair, what do you think about a recruitment team?
Well, we've no got one get bagged and one left, so I think this is got Rodgers' pop on soil this window, and I don't think he wants to rush it because we rushed it last year, and we all know the dross we were left with, and I think that might be the reason why we're slowing down. And to be honest, guys, I think we'll need to get 7 or 8 players again. But let's be honest, all them only got to be in for the Kilmarnock game. So you're not going to get all your players in. I know you want it in an ideal world, but you're not going to get it,
I think
sadly.
it's I think it's interesting you bring up last season, like the window. It's actually a year the day we signed Yang. So
Momentous occasion, that. Innit?
um
Well,
so if that is the case and it is a more patient approach, which I really do hope it is, and it's more quality. So it obviously can go both ways because if the players we bring in are the same level of quality of the players we brought in last season, which I think will be extremely difficult because thankfully the players last season we brought in were dross, if I'm being honest. Um, but I think as you said, Alistair, I think it's got Rodgers' fingerprint all over this window because even with outgoings, you see Danny Kelly basically be getting told, "Nah, you're no dictating what we give to you. If you don't want the contract, on you go." And I know the youth system's a lot and other thing, but Nathan, I just think if you if players are if you give in to youth players wanting or the agents try to get massive wages for the clients, then you as a manager for me lose a bit of authority. So I'm glad to see Rodgers come out and saying, "No, Danny Kelly was offered something, he didn't take it.
Aye.
Rocco Vata was
I,
offered something, and he never took it."
I mean, this point I'm making is relevant, but isn't in the same way. Right? I watched an interview that Virgil van Dijk done, right, and he was talking about his time at Celtic, right, and he was like, "You don't actually understand how big the badge is, right?" And I feel like young players and players in general need to realise that Celtic isn't a small club. We've got 60,000 fans every week, one of the biggest reputations in the world. Like, you know, like young players can't be fucking just walking about doing nothing. Daniel Kelly's got no ground to stand on. He had a couple decent games, but the whole team was rubbish. So any player that was half decent is going to stand out.
Aye. Do you think the same, Alistair, about
I
that?
would say I would say this now. This has been reported, so I'm not speaking out of turn here. Rocco Vata has allegedly signed a 25 grand a week contract at Watford. Now, would you have paid 25 grand for Rocco Vata? I wouldn't have.
No, because if you want my honest opinion, Rocco Vata, I don't think he's. I think he's living off his dad's reputation, which I've just there's not something I've never really liked about Rocco Vata. I don't know if it's attitude. I don't know. I've never got the Rocco Vata hype. Um, Danny Kelly, I thought could have been a decent player, but if he's wanting astronomical wages, then it just can't. You can't give somebody like Danny Kelly, who, as you said, Nathan has had a handful a good games and scored a decent goal against Dundee, a contract when we're trying to bring players to impact the first team.
100%.
The last game Danny Kelly played was the last game Celtic lost. Just saying.
Mm.
He come on at Tynecastle.
And I don't
And,
think it's the
and
players'
it's,
ability.
I'm not hitting a dig at him, I'm just saying you're paying a premium for potential. That's what it is.
Aye.
That's what it is.
No, I think it's. But I back to the point about Rodgers' authority. I think I said it. I think we've all said it. Roger, I said we all said it last season. Rodgers has to put his authority down in this window, and see if he doesn't, it's pointless. Now I understand that he's getting pulled back by a certain clown up the stair, but um, but he needs to put his authority and he needs to put his foot down and say, "This is my team, and I want this, and I want A, X, Y, Z."
Yep.
Um,
Completely agree.
so obviously Schmeichel, just to obviously conclude on it, like Schmeichel, I think he will be a good signing. I think everybody can. I think he'll be a brilliant player. I think he'll bring that
He'll be a
experience.
brilliant leader.
Um, and as you said, Nathan, as well, you can't turn your nose up at somebody who's got over 100 caps for Denmark. You just can't.
Played in a European semi-final. Made a big penalty save against England. Don't know it went in after, but he's performed in the big moments, and his dad's an icon of football as well.
Aye,
Can I say something about Casper Schmeichel before we move on, lads?
aye, aye.
At the end of the day, he won a league with Leicester. He won an FA Cup with Leicester and he won a Charity Shield all with Leicester.
Aye. And
That's sink in.
and I think the
With
big thing
Leicester.
with Schmeichel, and I'll use this to end off on Schmeichel, but I think the big thing with Schmeichel for me as well, obviously we signed Joe Hart, was it Andrew's first season, we signed him, and he was out in the cold pretty much. Casper Schmeichel's still playing football. That's a big thing for me as well. So he's still got to be match sharp. He's just played at the Euros. Now Hart was a superb player and all that, but I think that is another wee difference. That he's been playing football and he's got to be match sharp.
100%. You seen it in his interviews as well. He knows what he's doing with his words. Like he was winding up the English media saying, "Has it ever been home?" and all that. It's like he knows what he's saying. He takes responsibility when things might be his fault. Like I've seen him, do some pundit work in Sky Sports as well. He takes responsibility when he does a mistake, and like he only do good things for players like Vickers in front of him with skills, help them. So
Aye. I think we'll end off Michael there. I think we'll go into the second goalkeeper. Obviously, we're meant to be probably signing who'll probably a backup goalkeeper, probably maybe a cup
Probably the
goalkeeper.
top goalkeeper.
Maybe he is could be the goalkeeper. As you said, at the start to come in. I, I don't know how to butcher this guy's name, but it's Vinjami Sinisalo for Aston Villa.
That's close enough.
Uh, he's he was on loan at Exeter last season, made 50 appearances. Um, so and he got 14 clean sheets. He's also made 3 appearances for Finland. He played against Scotland when we played Finland before Euro 2024. So obviously, I think it's a good thing that we're getting another backup goalkeeper because, as I've made it clear, I think Nathan's made it clear. And I think I'm actually in a minute, Alistair, but I think I know what your answer's got to be. Scott Bain's not even good enough to be a backup now, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been there too long, Scott Ben,
Aye.
and Ben Sequist has made it clear he wants to go. So
Aye, well, he just
personally, I think I wouldn't have any problem letting the two go.
aye. I don't know much about him, to be honest. I'd be lying to say I watched the Exeter last season, but Nathan, what do you think about his getting a new backup goal? I'd assume a new backup goalkeeper.
You know, I think it was. I don't know if Alistair made the point on like the podcast or if it was before we started, saying hopefully Schmeichel can teach him and then he can step in. I think that's exactly
I think
what
that's
we
the
should
plan.
do. He's young. He's played a few international games. You know, he's clearly got ability. So we'll see what happens.
Aye.
But you know, Scott Bain's been collecting dust for years.
He's just sitting on the bench.
And
So
I
we'll see
don't,
what I
sorry, Josh, but
made.
I don't like talking about other clubs here, but I know the Aston Villa fans were highly rate him because they they actually wanted him to replace Robin Olsen, so they're a bit disappointed. So,
Aye, and
but
I don't think the fee's got to be massive either, so it's not a massive risk.
£1 million apparently.
So it's not a risk. We're not paying £4 or £5 million a goalkeeper that we don't know much about. So the risk isn't there. But I'm glad to see Celtic are actually maybe we talk a lot about the lack of forward planning at Celtic, Nathan, but it's good to see there is maybe a wee bit of forward planning.
Well, I
Wait,
mean, they always need to be done because like when have Celtic really got in a backup goalie that's outside who's played in the SPFL? Obviously, like Bain played for is it St Mirren? Had a
Dundee,
good
I think,
season with St
Ben.
Mirren.
The
Dundee, like, I couldn't mind if it was Dundee or St Mirren. And then Seagrass obviously played for Dundee United, and they were the two best goalies in the league
I
outside of
think
obviously Celtic and Rangers. So
who would have been a back? Who would have been the last backup goalie for non-Scotland? Because Zaluska was
Zaluska,
no Zaluska.
Lucha probably.
Oh, did he was he at
Or
Dundee?
the Freeze.
De Vries, I thought of.
Mm.
Oh no, that's not a good example. Of that no, I honestly think Doris De Vries was meant to win #1, and then Rogers realised shit, he's shit. Oh my god.
Paid
No.
100 grand for him.
We'll always have the new camp, but
Oh, not
um,
spawn.
that's it's just but it's good to see some because I'm going to hold my hands up. I'm a negative. I get really annoyed. I get annoyed at Celtic. Shock horror.
oh, you don't
But
say.
aye, here I'm passionate. I pay my season ticket, man.
Me
Yeah,
and you've had countless arguments the last few days, and
aye.
you've sent me about a full paragraph essay, and I
No,
just need to text you back saying I'm not reading all that.
uh, no, but it's obviously good to see. As I said, I'm assuming it's been obviously brought to attention today, and I'm assuming it'll be pretty much done. I think Schmeichel's medical is due is going to
Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, and I think he will fly to the US. So we'll actually have a goalkeeper for pre-season. Thank Christ.
Yeah.
I couldn't bear the thought Erling Haaland against Scott Bain.
Oh,
On.
no.
But but aye, so it's good. We've thank maybe get the goalkeeper sorted. Hallelujah. Celtic actually get a position sorted. Um,
Two internationals for
aye.
the goalkeepers.
I know.
That are
Obviously,
non-Scottish.
I know it's but it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. There's not a lot of good goalies in Scotland at the moment.
No, that's what I mean.
But obviously, I see goalies. Not much else you can kind of say. Obviously, it looks like Paolo Bernardo's also going to be returning permanently
Hallelujah.
for a 3.5 million deal. I think it's a good piece of business, Nathan.
Well, obviously, I mean, I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he done
I
in the
think
cup
he's
final.
really underrated.
I think he's really underrated. Um, I also, I have got an issue with it though, right? Because you know, I know this might be a bit naive of me, right? But I expected Celtic to sign Eden Bernardo, so obviously I'm happy that they're getting signed. But I mean, you're looking at the prospect of O'Reilly leaving, right? And you're also looking at the prospect of what if Hattati picks up another big injury? What if Callum McGregor? Obviously, we know he was injured,
Touchwood.
but injured a lot. So you know, we need to plan, and I had to say get more players in, but definitely happy with Bernardo as a player. You know, young Portuguese captain under 21s. Good player.
Alice, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. But I'll put in record. I think if O'Reilly goes, I think we'll bring somebody else in. I don't see Bernardo as O'Reilly's replacement.
Nah,
don't.
because I go with what Nathan says, because I don't think he will be the replacement, because Bernardo was already here, so you're not really replacing Matt really. If I, if you are, but I think we would bring another central midfielder in if Matt really did leave, and I would expect us to. If I'm being honest, my opinion's the same. I think, as Nathan says, I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. Um, and it was I seen that phrase like moved around a lot, or what has he done to merit that fee? And I'm like, it's not what he done. He scored against Rangers. Aye, at times it frustrates, but if you look at our average rating in the Champions League,
He plays a lot of the games.
Paulo Bernardo stood out in the Champions League, and that's what you want.
Against Lazio, he was amazing.
And you want players like we talk about Hatati standing out at that level. We talk about Bernardo. You want players that can stand out at that level, and that is exactly what he's done. So just, I know people are saying, "Oh, he's not," but he's only a young player who's come in and we talked about Odin Thiago home, not coming in and making an impact. Bernardo came in and made an impact. It was anonymous for the first few months, but then that Christmas period he came in and made an impact. Then he kind of dipped a bit, but you're going to get with young players. So I think for 3.5 million, I think if people are moaning about spending that money, then and I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem. It's what I think fans subconsciously do this is that, oh, we don't when they spend 3 million on that player. In all honesty, £3 million is nothing in football these days.
I know. And also, I would say this: if your conditions or Celtic can't spend big money, says who? We spent 9 on Edward. We spent 7 on Julian.
Most of the time when Celtic spend money on players, the quality, apart from a few exceptions from the COVID season, Barkas, Ayeti, but so if my honest opinion on this signing, I think it's a good signing. I think it's a signing that, as Nathan said, I expected to be done, and I'm happy it has been done. I'm assuming there'll be some sort of sell-on clause and whatever, but for 3.5 million, I don't think you can complain.
I don't think you can complain either.
Aye.
Would I have paid 6 for him? No.
No.
But I think 3.5 is a bargain. It's only
And,
got to get better.
and Nathan, you
Got resale
remember
value.
resale value, you remember he's the captain, I think he's at the under 21 team.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
So there's quality there. With Bernardo, so I think it's overall a good signing. But as we've all said, I think if Matt Daly leaves, I expect another midfielder to be coming in.
Might even be the first choice the first time round the age rush.
Mm-hmm.
That's been remembered.
But I think overall, and if you look at who have, and this miffs me. Honestly, if the fees reported to what it is, obviously we'll go into outgoings a bit as well. Obviously, Hank Sabanovic left. He went to Malmo. Just didn't work out, did it, Nathan?
Yeah.
Oh, his attitude was stinking, man. He
Aye.
thought he genuinely thought that he was a world class player.
Aye, and he showed glimpses. He showed glimpses he could do something, but then he showed glimpses of just being
Done the
terrible.
same thing over and over again. He would run, cut, and he couldn't pass the ball forward.
And I honestly find it interesting. Remember that the Instagram post that I think was it Rocco Vata put out.
No, it was Haxa.
Hank Sabanovic, everybody liked
him. And Bernabet all liked it, and none of them are at the club now. That's very telling for me.
But Hank Sabanovic, We've always have that picture of him, Nathan. But always have that.
Oh my god, I look like I'm getting
Mm.
held hostage in that picture, man.
Aye.
But Haksabanovic used to frustrate the life out of me, like most Celtic wingers do, apart from Jota. I think you put two and two together. I think you can tell who I went back at Celtic, but it's not going to happen. And I'd take Carol Starfelt back. But
He's no ways misses anymore, so they're trying.
well, maybe there's a chance. No, but he showed glimpses and all that. But how much did we pay for him?
1.7.
1 point.
I thought it was near 3 million.
I thought it was nearly 3 million we paid for him.
No, that was Burnley.
I'm pretty sure Haksabanovic was.
No, it was 1.7. We got him cheaper because we got him cheaper because of the Russian carry on. Honestly, it was 1.7.
Let's see attacks about actually. I do remember the whole Russian carry on because Bolingoli was a
I
Russian.
know.
Um,
Man, that's my ball and goalie mentioned for the season.
no, I
Great left back.
but according we put 2.5 million euros. I don't know what euros, so it probably was about 1.7.
It's honestly it's about that.
But nah, I'm glad to see he's another one. I'm just glad to see the door at a long list, to be honest. So, but and then obviously this one, this other player with sold. I wanted him to work. Oh, I wanted him to work. I liked him. I liked his attitude. I thought his attitude was decent, and he always looked like he wanted to try and throw his weight about Nathan, but he just missed that bit of quality that he needed. That like,
I've got a weird
coolness in front
opinion
of
on
goal.
this. I'm actually pretty disappointed that we've sold him.
I'm not disappointed with the fee, I'll tell you that.
I'm not, it's not the fee, but I genuinely see something in him. He's young. He came from South Korea. Like, I really do think a loan would have been a great option. But
I get a loan, but you can't. He's had.
you can't turn down that money though. You
can't turn down that money.
Players no played.
We do. Peter Lawwell is good at selling players, but no spending the money we accumulate from sales on actual players. But
in his bank account, let me investigate another day.
Well, he's another.
He's a guy a break, guys.
Yeah, you.
I don't think you should be telling Josh that, man.
No, but I think it's like we couldn't turn down the figure. I think it's like 4 million we're getting from him.
Well, there'd be a bit of confusion, but for Belgium, it's what we paid for them plus. Let me get this right: 1.2 million in add-ons extra, and then a sell-on clause. So we're getting, if all works out, we're getting close to 3.5 plus a sell-on if it moves on, which still isn't 4.5. I know. But you're still getting more than what you paid, so no brainer. See you later. Don't let the door hit your arse on the way out.
And there's Alistair's analogy and sayings, and that's Alistair's opinion and all. I'll go a bit more nicer than that. Hope he does well, but it just didn't work out at Celtic. And Nathan, he could go to Genk or whatever where he is and do well. He could, but if we come here in 3 years' time and always went to a Bundesliga team for 10 million, I'm not going to be sitting there saying we should have left them due to the fee we got from. As you say, if you can't turn down money for a player who was bit part, to be honest, at times, had his chance and was raw. So, and I think if that will go into a certain Irish striker in a minute, if that can pave the way for the striker who we really want, then I don't think anybody's going to be complaining. So,
every big club should have 3 strikers, though.
I know. I think I agree with it.
Don't start joking the third striker.
Oh no, the third striker. The thing is, right, is my point in the three strikers, right, is there's no reason why we shouldn't, right? We spent, as you said, we spent, what, 7, 8 million on Edward as a backup. We had Griffiths at the club still, and Musa was the main one. But every big club needs three strikers, because if Kyogo gets an injury, Kyogo's shoulder's very dodgy, right? I know I'm thinging here, but, you know, his shoulder's dodgy. If he's out, then we've only got Ida. If Ida gets a knock, who's going up front? Like, you always need three strikers.
Maeda.
Come on, he couldn't finish his dinner if the plate was put in front of him.
Oh, that's hard.
Shit. No, he can't shoot. He can't shoot.
There's a certain North Macedonian, I think, man. But anyway.
Aye,
No, mate, does he type of guy to score a great goal from outside the box and miss a 2-yard tap in?
oh, that stupid goal after Studio Loser.
As long as he keeps Tavernier at bay, Isaac Maeda will always have a place. But I'm going to come on to a bit, obviously, about what other positions you'd like to see strengthen. Whitney, from what other positions would you want to see? Or
Well,
would
I
you
think
think?
I think we all know my main thing is, I think this it's criminal that we're not even linked with an interest in a CDM. I honestly, I'll never wrap my head around it. McGregor should not have even been playing the last games of the season with the injury he got, let alone playing nearly every minute of the Euros. Callum McGregor cannot play every game this season, right? And yeah, Awat is a good player, right? But Awat in the big games fades. You know, he's non-existent.
He's a good player to bring off the bench when you're winning. I've noticed that about Awat. He can hold it together.
We need somebody with a big physical presence like Victor Wanyama. I've been calling it for years.
James McCarthy's still there.
Exactly. I think I've heard the whole Wanyama thing for years. They players are really hard to come by now because you don't get a lot. Because Victor Wanyama had good technical ability, was quick and was strong. If Celtic are looking at a player, you don't really get a player who's out in the world. Like, where did we get Wanyama from? Was it Beershot?
Beershot in Belgium.
Aye. So they are out there. I'm not saying they're not, but I think they're a lot harder to come by now.
75 grand. The best 75 grand Celtic have ever spent. That's Barcelona.
But I think I do agree. I think Callum McGregor can play because he is getting older now. You don't want to burn him out, and then an injury completely buggers his career up. But so I think we need to. If Awat is the answer, then that's fine. But we need to play Awat a lot more. Left back is a massive issue for me because I genuinely don't think we've got a good left back at Celtic. And,
what happens if GT gets injured?
Well, he's coming back.
Bernabe's come back out in loan here.
You know, if Bernabe's not cutting it in Brazil, then he's not going to cut it here.
Bernabe, just wrap up the contract with Bernabe.
Pretty much. So I think a left back. I think we need a left back. It's not even whether I want it. We need one because we've only got one that's genuinely.
And he's only got a year left.
So we're going to need to make a decision on that. And I still don't think Greg Taylor's. He's too small for me. He's too small. And
his weakness this season was probably Greg Taylor.
And I'm not saying you need to go and get a 7-foot giant, right? But you need to either somebody who's good at like is a decent jump on him to stop that height. But I don't think Greg Taylor's got that, and I think Greg Taylor has been a good servant to Celtic. But I think it's still we need to improve in Greg Taylor. I wouldn't mind Greg Taylor. Not even Greg Taylor. I think Greg Taylor just needs competition. So you might see improvement when there's competition there. But the thing is, Greg Taylor's not got any competition. So I'm not saying Greg Taylor's not trying anything, but it's obvious when somebody's got somebody back, they're going to try harder.
Yeah, I mean, it's competition, but again, that's a young boy. You don't really want to get into the Champions League with a young boy get back up.
Aye. What were you saying there?
I mean, thing is with Greg Taylor, right, is his positional sense is probably some of the worst I've ever
That's
seen.
terrible. It's
What the amount of times he just disregards defending, just runs like into no man's land. The amount of times I point to you when we're at the football, I'm like, where's Greg Taylor going? Because you're genuinely searching for him.
aye. But I think left back needs to be a priority, and it's, I don't want to tell myself we won't get something because I do think we'll get something. I don't think the Celtic recruitment deal that's stupid. Um, but I think a left back for me is needed. Centre half, I think, is needed because I don't think we've got apart from Vickers. I don't think we've actually got a decent centre half at the football club.
When the Rockies' hamstrings going in it, like it well because away and Stephen Welsh is injured every time he goes on the pitch.
And Scales is he really the
No,
answer?
Lagerbielke is injured as well. They're both
Oh,
injured.
well, that's even better.
So we need to get a centre half in. I know we've been linked to that Irish centre half for Burnley. I don't know. No, there's not been any concrete links.
He's a good big
Darren
fella.
O'Shea.
Aye, and that's the thing. We need to get a 5 million. I think it was Kenny of Celtic Fans TV said it. We need to get a £5 million centre half beside Vickers, but a Starfelt. Starfelt got it stinking off your support, which I thought was completely uncalled for. I'll
Not
take him
this
back.
podcast.
I'll take him back in a second. Genuinely,
And
I'd
we
take him,
all love Starfield, man. That was like
because he done
defense
nothing.
him to
He
the
done
grave.
nothing wrong. When did
Mm.
Starfelt ever put a foot wrong?
Kevin Nisbet turned him inside it like a horse.
Once.
Oh, I would
Once.
say this. Starfield and Vickers never ever lost a domestic game playing
And,
next to
and
each other.
Starfelt was a £5 million centre half. Now I know we spent money on the Rocky, but we need to get a proper centre half next to Vickers to really shoot up
Mm.
that back line. And if we're going to get a left back, either a backup or somebody to improve Taylor, I'd rather get somebody that improves Taylor. No disrespect to Greg Taylor, but he needs competition. He needs competition massively. For me, as Nathan said about the midfield, obviously Bernardo's coming in, but if Matt Taylor leaves, we're looking at another midfielder probably coming in. The wingers, I don't even know where to get started with because that
You need
honestly is
one on either side, I would
aye.
say.
Because Palmer, apart from a good few months in September and December, November probably, was decent, but it just tails off. Palmer for me, his in-game management is really bad, really poor. Kuhn's flattered to deceive. Um,
Oh.
Yang, Yang, I don't even, I'm not even bothered. Um, so Maida's brilliant. So the only, and I'm not being disrespectful to James Forrest, right? But if James Forrest, who's been a brilliant servant at Celtic, is getting in ahead of new signings, there's something wrong.
Mm.
Now we need a winger. I know we've been linked with somebody for Belgium. Is it? Plays in Belgium.
You're good with the pronunciations, Jockey. That's one I go.
Right, right. Michel Ange. I mean, he's got Ange for a start. So anyway,
Oh dear.
Bala
Anyway,
like Kawisha. Oh Jesus.
Josh, I would say one thing about Parma. If we get a left winger, just say the Belgian lad comes in and a big Dave, I'm calling him, and hopefully his line's alright. But if it's if it's if this boy signs, I'd try Parma in the number 10 role.
100%. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Nathan Alistair, love a number 10.
I dare. Because he can shoot. That's the one thing Parma
He can
can
shoot
do.
and cross. He can
He's got a
shoot and
decent
cross.
pass.
His decision making's awful. That's the problem.
Don't make you play the best midfielder in the country. if
And
you put Parma
I
number.
don't know where you play James McCarthy, but uh, but
Just say.
I but I think a winger's needed, and obviously a striker. Hoping that's either. but I think we will get a striker because I'm not going to let all go because that's literally one.
Well, I think, famous last words, I think either must be close because we would not let all go if we didn't have a striker lined up. Please God, prove
I
me
know,
right.
Nathan, I found that interesting because when Rodgers was talking about Rocco Vata, he said Rocco Vata was going to be one of the three strikers, and I'm
Mm.
like, thank God he left.
I mean, Rocco Vata's attitude is just
Stinking.
stinking. It is. Honestly, you pointed out when Celtic won the league, man. His face is sitting there tripping
Face was
himself.
tripping.
He's an idiot, man. I can't stand him. He's living off his dad's name. He's not even. He's genuinely so overrated, man. It's
And
embarrassing.
and and I, and
It
I, I
almost equals the Kanamoko Dembele hype.
And let me tell you guys, I'm the oldest. I seen his dad playing and his dad wasn't that great either, so
you know,
I
we,
don't want to, I don't want to hang
and understand with like Vata and that as well is there's a obviously with youth team because we've not had many youth players coming through. Well, like, all right, here's Danny Kelly. Right? No, we need to give him a chance. See if they're not good enough. I don't care if they're a youth player or not. Now that just goes to show how bad our youth system is because it's honestly terrible. Um, but that's just common knowledge at this point. But if you're,
with it.
but I'm gonna go through the two. Because I've already told my list of list of like priority signs. What would your list be, Nathan, in terms of no matter what, no restrictions. If you were to pick the positions that you want filled before September the 1st, then who you
I'm
going
not being funny. I think the only position that we don't need to strengthen in is right back.
with?
The rest is whole fair game. Right, our three backup centre halves are always injured, right? Even Vickers is susceptible to an injury problem. We've not got a backup left back. McGregor, as I already mentioned, can't play every game. You know, the two players are bringing in, if say Hatai gets an injury, aren't up to the quality, then every winger in that club should be sold for all I care. They're all shite apart from Aida. And then obviously I think you need three strikers.
Mm-hmm. Alistair?
Um, two bangers, one on either side, left back, centre half, and possibly one striker, but one big money striker.
I think we all know who that is.
Hopefully,
Um,
but I wouldn't
um,
be against my Mayakovsky, but I don't think that's going to happen.
no, I don't think that's going to
Sadly.
happen. But I think it's going to be it's going to be interesting because we travel out to America next week. Obviously, play these friendlies, which will be fun, I guess. I hate friendlies. I
Ah,
just hate them. But so obviously we couldn't play these friendlies. Thank God we're going to at least have some sort of players to actually go out there because it was looking for a long time, Nathan, that we were going to have the same squad pretty much, minus
I mean,
Eden.
I'll believe it when the players are confirmed. That's all I'm saying. I ain't putting anything past this Celtic board, man.
No, I wouldn't either. But
I
um,
think we can safely say Michael and the
Michael's
goalkeepers are coming in.
um, but obviously, what I don't. I mean, we may as well. The season hasn't started yet, so we'll go into season predictions and we do the
Aye,
previews.
let's do that for a laugh.
No, we'll
Before
do that for a
every,
one-off podcast when the league actually starts because we're going for quite a while anyway. But it's just
right,
gonna be interesting, Nathan.
cool.
We just need to get what we need done.
Yeah, it's about getting quality in there.
Aye,
Aye.
It's not about these wee stupid project signings. We need players that are the here and now, and there's more Champions League games. There's more games than ever before for Celtic, so we need a squad. And if you're looking at the team you've got currently, you'd say there's only really about 6, 7 players up to Celtic quality.
aye.
And we worked
Mm.
it out. privately, didn't we, Justin? We come up with 15 players that we would keep the
Keep,
entire
but that's not even
squad
up to, it's not even up to quality either, man. Like that's just keeping.
per
If you were
number.
to ask me what Celtic players are like top quality, Carter Vickers, Johnson, Matt O'Reilly, Hatate, McGregor, Kyogo. I know he didn't have a greatest of season last, but he's a goal scorer. So
Bernardo.
Kyogo, maybe in a season or two. But if you're talking about players like Hatate and O'Reilly who have done it over, there's only you're talking about
Maida.
John Maida. I think Maida's a difficult one because Maida offers something completely different. Maida's like a good teammate to me. I think he's somebody who'll put 110% in every time.
Ma-
But
Maida would never be at my team.
no, Don, he wouldn't be at my
I
team
would
either.
never be at my team.
And I think he's a brilliant player. Like, but if you're talking about like players who could go to move on for Celtic and go maybe Kyogo out this because he's age, but in terms of top quality, you're probably talking about 5 players, six players. Carter
Aye.
Vickers, Johnson, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, and Kyogo.
Just to clarify, we are talking about Alistair Johnson and no Mikey.
And one's up against Messi and one plays for Ireland. So.
Very fucking good.
But I think they needs to, as you said, it can't be project signs. No, they can be young, but they need to come in and they need to make an instant impact. I'm not saying first game of the season it's got a hat trick, but there needs to be signs in those Champions League games. No, this is a quality signing.
I
And
mean,
guys,
what is the point in signing about 3 Oldham Thiago Holmes every season? Because eventually there's going to be too much of them and you need to move them on.
Like, because if you look, I'll go back to that first season under Ange. And I know the thing was Rangers won the league. St. Carter Vickers, quality. Starfelt, quality. Juranovic, quality. Like Hatate in the January, quality. Matt O'Reilly, quality. Because they come in and they hit the ground running straight away. Yakimakis come in, hit the ground running. Kyogo came in, hit the ground running. So that's the difference. We need players like that who come in and they hit the ground running. That's what happened. That's what happened in January, right? With Ida, like he came in and he hit the ground running straight away. So
guys,
that's
you
it.
know we'll be sitting here in deadline day with the yellow ties on, expecting Celtic to need to buy somebody. You know that.
No, I'm not being
I'll
Jim
tell
White.
you that right
That's
now.
that guy, man.
Mhm.
But I think it's just the main word for me is quality. And that's probably what we need. We need obviously. What? Just to end off, obviously we go to the US. What do you honestly want to see out of this US tour? Because I can't. I don't look into them too much because I don't
I
like
Yeah,
don't give two
injuries.
bucks, to be honest.
Yeah,
um,
injuries.
the injuries. I can't.
Well,
I
obviously.
can't get any friendlies really.
I'll be watching the Man City game from behind the couch. To be
Um,
honest.
I
um,
know no one will be playing for these teams, man. All the good players are at the Euros. Give them a break, man.
I can think of one
I can
that
think of
was
one,
not the Euros.
and it's no Jack Greenish. Anyway,
Ah,
um,
It's Haaland.
aye,
um,
obviously.
and if Steve's up against Stephen Welsh, the fear.
Blood specimens.
Anybody got a feeling in the
Aye.
Mhm.
But I think I don't really mind the free. I just want the league football to start back. But I think that's
See,
kind of the main
to be
stuff.
honest, would you care if we lost all 3 games for nothing? I wouldn't.
As I say, I just don't. I can't look into friendlies. I just can't. I just wish they would play them behind closed doors.
And I wish he wouldn't release the scores, to be honest with you.
I just
'Cause
think
I think that gets people het up, to be
because
honest.
if say we went and beat Chelsea, right, which wouldn't be very difficult. Say we went and beat Chelsea.
Music bash.
See we went and beat Chelsea. Everybody's they're going to do this. But see if we go and get hammered, everybody's it's a disaster.
Aye.
Not what Tommy says in there, but but so I'm not really that bothered if I'm being honest. I'll probably watch if games that I'm not exactly. I'm going to stay up at Oils to watch it, man. But I assume it will be on at
Oh, I
Oils.
haven't seen that, is
But um, but I think we've kind of covered everything unless you've got anything else you want to cover.
No, I just hope the Celtic board are listening. We'll put Wisconsin listening.
Peter, listen, Peter's listening. Peter,
Supermarket sweep on you go.
aye. Nathan, you get any more things you want to say?
I think the one thing I'm surprised about, right, is how Alistair Johnson isn't linked to a big move. I thought he was amazing in the Copa America.
I
But I'm
Don't
not
give them
complaining.
any ideas.
don't
I
sell
don't
happy
want
girls.
to stuck with Tony Boy all season. Thanks very much.
I thought Tony's my guy, man. Me and him go way back.
Oh, I know.
I don't know if during the reels of that guy, man. No offense.
When he made that mistake, I was dying.
But I know Johnson. They played well.
He
Okay,
plays a
Kessie.
different role for Canada. He plays in the back three.
He
Kind
plays higher up as well. A lot. I
Aye.
noticed that. But I think that's probably a decent way to end it. But so thanks for joining us, Nathan and Alistair.
All right.
No, no
Um,
Thanks
problem.
for having us.
and we'll be back probably at some point. Probably some point
That's
next week.
about next close season.
Or if we get a signing, we might be back. So hopefully we get a signing next few days. We might be back. But
Right.
I was hopefully going to be bringing more consistent content this season. Throughout the season, obviously, because last season it was a bit stop-start the content. But hopefully this season we can bring out more content and stuff like that, and just bring out more stuff.
No, it's only one man's fault.
Shut up. But aye. But so let's hope for a few signings. And let's hope that we get the players we want. So I think that's it. But until next time, see you later. Hail, hail.